and then we'll get to that at the end. So McKenna asked me to come on and talk to you guys about how to consistently hit Success Club and recruit to your team. So I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown of my story so you have a little context behind my talk tonight. And so I got started in 2015. Prior to that, I was a collegiate and competitive cheerleader, and I did what every girl does after her wedding, and I cut off all my hair. I stopped cheering, and I gained like what felt like 1,000,000 pounds. It was only 10 pounds, but I gained 10 pounds, what felt like overnight, but really it was like 4 months. But I pretty much stopped all activity after I got married, which I'm not really sure why. My husband is like super active. And I just was not feeling my best mentally, emotionally, physically. And my clothes were starting to get too tight. And I'd already like gone up in a few sizes, and those sizes were getting a little too tight. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And my best friend tells me that she lost 9 pounds doing some group on Facebook. Turns out it was 21 Day Fix. And I was like, well, whatever you're doing, I need to do that. So I ended up joining the group. I already owned 21 Day Fix. And so I didn't purchase anything to get in the group. And they told me I had to buy Shakeology. And I said, nope, not doing that. And for some reason, this woman let me in the group, which is the biggest blessing ever in disguise. And so I ended up going through the program 4 months straight. And at the end of 4 months had 0 results, like actually looked worse. Like, I don't know how it's possible, but somehow I actually looked worse. I literally didn't even lose an ounce, not an effing ounce. I started at 138.4. At 4 months later, 138.4. Like, how is that possible? And so I'm like, well, I'm over 30. I'm going to have to do something really extreme. And what do you know? 21 Day Fix Extreme was coming out. I purchased the challenge pack like a good girl, got my vegan chocolate Shakeology, and I decided, I still have no idea why, I decided I was going to go share my workouts over on Instagram. Now, again, collegiate competitive cheerleader. I had a lot of Facebook friends, like over 700. I barely had any friends over on Instagram. Like, I had to like my own photos to get it to change from names to numbers. Super embarrassing. And for some reason in my head, I thought, okay, this will be like that extra accountability for me to get my 6-pack. Now, I've never had a 6-pack, still don't have a 6-pack to this day. So I don't know why I thought I was going to get a 6-pack in 21 days. It's just ridiculous. And so I'm like, I'm going to post all my workouts over on Instagram because it will be more embarrassing to fail in front of people than it would to be embarrassing, just by myself, right? So I ended up posting all my workouts over there, and people started messaging me, asking me if I was a coach and telling me I was inspiring. And I'm like, what are these weird words you're saying? I didn't know any coaches. I didn't follow any coaches. The woman that let me into her group, I wasn't even Facebook friends with her. I was friends with my friend, and that's how I got in the group. So I did not follow or know any coaches. And so when people started asking me that, I'm like, what are they even talking about? Like, I did not know what coaches did or anything about them. Now, my coach had asked me every single group to sign up as a coach. And I had all the excuses. Don't have time, don't want to sell anything. I had a ton of time. I only worked nights. So I had all day to do whatever the hell I wanted. I fucking love selling stuff. Okay. I just love it. It's so thrilling to me. I should have been a drug dealer. I love selling stuff. So I'm like, I just basically lied, right? Really, I was just afraid of what people were going to think of me. And I wasn't active on social media, even though I had one. I was more like scrolled, never really liked anything, and just did it when I was bored. Like, didn't post stuff, didn't change profile pictures, all this stuff. So it was really intimidating to me trying to think of selling stuff on the internet. And I wasn't having it, right? Well, in this 5-month span, the 4 rounds of 21 Day Fix and 1 round of 21 Day Fix Extreme, I had given my coach 7 of my friends. Now, I had no results, so people were not joining because they wanted to look like me. I actually was happy. And I think that's the real lesson there, is that people could see the change in me. Like when you're out somewhere and someone looks at you and they go, smile, and you're like, go F yourself, right? Like, people would say smile to me like 500 times a night when I was bartending, because I was just miserable, because I knew that I was meant for more. And I was really unhappy with how I looked and my job. And on the outside, like I should have been really happy, right? Like dream guy, fairy tale wedding at Disneyland. We had a nice house. We had nice cars. Like I graduated from college. Like all of the boxes were really checked. But I was unhappy with me and where I was going and how I felt about myself. And so being able to commit to these programs like made me feel a sense of accomplishment that I hadn't felt in a really long time. So while I do agree that results are important and people need to see that, number one, be proof that the products work. If you can tell a story of how you went from this to this, like that's also really important. So it's not just about results. So that was really important for me that I had helped all these people get started, even though they just signed up with my coach, even though I wasn't a coach, right? But why? Because I was actively talking about what I was doing over on Instagram, right? I even signed up a Starbucks barista that I saw every single day before work because she saw the change in me and she wanted to be a part of it. Okay. So that's really important. So anyways, so I finally decided to bite the bullet and sign up as a coach. And then I freaked out. I did nothing. I told nobody. I was like, I'm that girl. I'm selling stuff on the internet, literally having like an internal battle with myself. And 3 weeks later, so I signed up February 26, 2015. 3 weeks later, March 19th, I'm in Hawaii with John, my husband, randomly just on vacation. And an upline post about a push to Emerald group. Now, the woman who signed me up wasn't really working the business. Like, really, if she had stuck around, she would have found like a diamond in the rough, but she ended up quitting. So, boo you, right? Oh, well. Anyways, upline posted about a push to Emerald, and I will pretty much do anything for a free t-shirt. But if there's a chance to win money, I'm going to win that money like this. No, there's no competition there. So it was like a $10 buy-in, and anybody who went Emerald in the 2 weeks got to split the pot. Okay. I literally, at this point, I've done nothing. I've posted nothing. I've told no one. I've watched no trainings. I don't know anything. Okay. I'm doing my workouts. I'm drinking my shake. Great. So it says pay $10 over PayPal. We'll add you to this group. I do it right there in the pool chair. They add me to the group. It says like invite 25 people to join you. I don't really remember what else it said. I made a list of like 42 people, spammed every person I had ever met. Even if I hadn't talked to you in 10 years, I was asking you to do 21-day fix with me. I don't recommend you doing that, but it got me moving in the direction that I needed to go and actually asking people to do this with me. I made my first post. I had like this much chocolate Shakeology in my shaker cup, and I said, healthiest meal of the day. That was it. And then I put a bunch of hashtags. It didn't mean anything, and hashtags don't even work on Facebook. So that was great, right? But it got me moving. I ripped the Band-Aid off. I started doing the things. And by the end of the 2 weeks, I had gone Emerald. I hit Success Club 12, and I had made $394 in my first month as a coach. And I was like, whoa, this could be the opportunity of a lifetime. Now, back then I was a bartender. I would make that in a night. That wasn't a ton of money to me at the time. But what I realized is this could be the opportunity that will allow me to leave the bar and go find a job that I do love. Because my main focus back then was finding a job that allowed me to work during the day that paid me just as well, which is not a thing. Like bartenders just make a lot of money. And I'm like, obviously I would have to work my way back up to that. But I wanted to be home at night with my husband. I didn't want him working during the day and me working at night and just living this life where we were just passing each other, right? So I really wanted to leave the bar. It was just a toxic place anyways, and come home to my husband. So I came out the gates running after that moment. I was hitting Success Club 20, 30, 40, 50, went diamond in 4 months. Like I was just on fire. And all that I did was listen to what successful people told me to do. If there's one thing about me, I'm very coachable. And when somebody who is successful or has something that I want, i.e. a better life, a better house, a better paycheck, whatever it is, I'm going to listen to them because I don't believe that anyone is trying to put me out for fun, right? They're telling me, and back then, obviously things are a little different now because things are a little more noisy, but back then, invite 3 people a day, add 3 people to your network a day, start 3 new conversations a day. Like I could do that, even though it felt painful back then to do that, right? I made sure that it was done before I got in my car at 4:45 to head to work, because when I was at the bar until 3 o'clock in the morning, there was no networking. There was no messaging. I was working. I could not look at my phone. I certainly couldn't be taking pictures and posting. I mean, we didn't have stories back then, but I certainly couldn't be doing that, right? My phone was tucked away. And if I was lucky and got a 2-second break to go pee, I could look at my phone then. Okay. But so I had to do everything before I went to work. So even if it killed me to invite 3 people, I would find 3 people to invite because that's what the successful people told me to do. My very first training, they're like, comment if you want to be a success starter. Well, I had no freaking idea what that was, but the title sounded good to me. I am a type 3 on the Enneagram. Achieving is my jam. I was like, I will be a success starter. Had no freaking clue what that was. I was a success starter. Okay. So I talked myself into that goal, right? So 11 months into my journey, right? I'm thinking this is going to be the best thing ever, right? I'm like, I'm going to be not a full-time coach, but I'm going to use this money to leave the bar. In a 2-minute phone call at my husband's company party, after 7 years, my boss called me and said, you don't work here anymore. You're too negative. And in that moment, that was honestly the worst moment of my entire life. So not only did I have to pull my husband away from the party while I'm in the hallway bawling my eyes out at this hotel because I've just lost my job, I had to tell him in that moment that I have $61,000 in debt that he knows nothing about. Now, my husband is a CFO. You don't know what that stands for? Chief Financial Officer. That would never happen to him. Never, ever. Okay, now most of that was school, but still, he didn't know anything about it. So, hello. Hey, I just got fired, and guess what? I got this little secret for you, right? And he's amazing and perfect. And he said, whatever you're stressed about, we got it. And the next day, somebody called and was like, hey, girl, I have a position for you at a bar. It's yours if you want it. I looked at John and I said, what do you think we should do? He said, what makes you the happiest? I said, Beachbody. He said, then let's go for it. So with his support, I was able to go full-time January 9th, 2016. I've been home ever since. Now, please don't misunderstand that from that moment, it was just like rocket to the top, because that is not true. Okay. Actually, my first year coaching, I made roughly a little over $11,000. My second year, which would be 2016, and I was home the entire year, I made a little over $12,000. Okay. So people often tell me if I had more time, I would be more successful at this. And it's just not true. You will be successful at this when you can get very focused in the time that you do have. Okay. And that's a lesson that I've had to learn. I said, it doesn't matter how much time that I have. It matters what I do with the time I do have. So if you have 8 hours a day and you spend all 8 hours scrolling social media, you will not be more successful. But if you only have an hour a day to work your business and you spend 30 or 45 minutes of that inviting people, you will be successful. So it just matters what you do with that time. And that was a huge wake-up call to me. So anyways, I've been home full time since then. Every penny of that debt is gone. Insert Beachbody income disclaimer. Beachbody does not guarantee income, blah, 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 right? And never for a moment did I have to worry on if I'd have to go back to work when my daughter came in 2017. And I've got to be here for every moment of her life, which was never a dream of mine. But now I can't imagine not being here. My dream was to work and work really hard. And hopefully by the time I retired, be making good money. Like that was my dream, which is a really shitty dream. if we're being honest, right? And now I'm literally living what is my new dream, which is to be home with Chloe, but also running a very successful business that fills me up and is something that is just mine. And that if, for God forbid, something was to ever happen, I would be able to take care of me and Chloe, no problem. It wouldn't be a situation where I would lose my house or lose my car and not be able to feed my daughter. Like, no, mama's got you. Like, we're going to be fine, right? And again, God forbid anything would ever happen. But so that's a little bit of my story in a very condensed nutshell. A lot has happened in 5 years, but what has made me successful and what will continue to make me successful is the consistency that I have. So there's never a day that I don't show up to my business, to my stories, to my posts, to my team, and to my inbox. It's just not a thing because unfortunately this business is very much like a car, but a car on a hill. So if you take your foot off the gas, you don't just stay in the same place. You actually slide backwards. And I think what happens is a lot of coaches take their foot off the gas and think that, when they disappear for 3 weeks, that they can just start up right again. But with the attention span that people have these days, you just lost all that trust of people, right? Because now people don't trust that you're going to be consistent in their life. So no way they're going to sign up with you, because that's what most people are struggling with, is being consistent in their own life towards the things that they want, whether that's being more organized, getting up earlier, getting a workout in, studying for school, whatever it is. They struggle with that consistency. So they're not going to sign up with a coach who's inconsistent and that they can't count on. And I know people don't take social media seriously, but in our industry, people who use social media to build their platform, you have to take it dead serious. So let's say, right, I treat social media like it's my job, because it is. Whatever your regular job is now, if you didn't show up there for 3 weeks, would you still have a job when you got back? No, you wouldn't. Luckily, Beachbody can't fire us, right? And we have the power of working our business however we want. But there's a reason why some coaches are successful and some aren't. Okay. And consistency plays a huge part in that. So I used to say that the only day you don't have to show up on social media is the day your house burns down or the day you die. But now, honestly, if your house is burning down, you better take a picture of it, because there are going to be a lot of comments on that. And that is a lot of people that you could talk to. So you need to post that shit. Okay. So the only day you can't show up is the day you die. I'll give you a pass. But anything else, you have to be there. Literally in the hospital bed, giving birth to my daughter, I still posted that day, okay? I made it happen, right? I used a filter because, good God, mama wasn't looking good, but I've got the post up, okay? There is no reason not to show up. Good, bad, or ugly, people are counting on you. Even if they pay you no attention, I promise they're looking for your post. Even if they never like, even if they don't even hit follow, I guarantee you people are typing in your name and going and looking for you. Okay? That is a thing. People are weird. People don't want you to know that they're watching, but they always are. People are always watching. Okay? And it's people you least expect. And you don't know who needs to hear what you have to say that day that could honestly change or save their life. Dead serious, right? I have a coach on my team who has been through hell and back with a domestic abuser marriage. She luckily got out now, but he still continues to mentally and verbally abuse her. And she has said to me on multiple occasions, if you hadn't posted that night, I would probably be 6 feet under. And that is just a responsibility that you have to know that you have. Now, maybe no one's ever going to say that to you. I mean, I definitely take it as a badge of honor, because if I hadn't posted that night and she hadn't filled out my survey that night and got started on our team, I wouldn't have my dear friend. Okay. So that is the power that you have when you post. And that is also the power you have in being vulnerable and talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and not just workouts and shakes and nutrition. Because while people care about that and it is important, people really want to get to know you. And they want to relate to you, and they want to trust you. And once they have those things, they will buy whatever you're selling. I'm never going to teach my team how to sell. I'm going to teach them how to share and show up in their own life, and then spread that message that they have for the day, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, right? Keep saying that. But it's important that people know that we're real and that we're not perfect, okay? But imperfect people can be consistent, and that I promise you, okay? So you need to teach your followers how you get through this hard thing that we call life, right? And your workouts and what you do as a coach, getting on these calls to learn and having your nutrition and drinking your shake and all of those things, all plays a role in your success. Because if you're not doing your vitals, you don't have a business to post about. So you have to do those vitals in order to have something to post about. And I always tell my coaches who say, I just don't know what to say, or I don't know what to post about. If you're doing your job, you always will have something to post about. Because in your workout, you're going to have a thought, or your trainer's going to say something that's going to spark something in you, or you're going to have finished a program, or XYZ, right? Something is going to happen during your workout. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you did a move that you weren't able to do 30 days ago, right? Maybe you just weren't feeling it today, but you finished the freaking thing anyways. You are always going to have something to talk about, right? If you're doing your job, you always have something to talk about. If you listen to your personal development, I sure as shit hope you have something to talk about. If your personal development didn't spark one thought in your head, then you need to find a new book, because that's clearly not the book for you at the moment. But if you're doing your job as a coach, which is being proof the products work, listening to PD, connecting, engaging, and inviting people, right? Someone's going to say something that just lights you up. Someone's going to say something that hurts your feelings. These are all things that you could be talking about. So if you're doing your job, you will always have something to post about. I get it. You're not going to be super creative every single day. There's some days like today, I didn't love my post, right? And it took me a long time to write, and I didn't even feel like it was good. And then some days the words just flow out of me, right? And some days I have 5 different ideas for a post in one day, and I have to write them all down so I can get them out later, right? Not every day is going to look the same, but you're always going to have a reason to show up. And one, you are teaching the future coaches of your team how to be a coach. So if you're not showing up, you cannot expect your coaches to show up, because guess what? Your coaches are going to do about 25% of what you do. Okay? So if you're not 100%, you literally cannot expect anything from your coaches. It's the same if you've ever been a part of a sports team. I was a cheerleader and a cheerleader coach for a long time, and I know I could show it to my kids freaking perfect, and they would do something crazy. And I'm like, what the hell were you looking at? Okay? Your coaches are going to do the same thing. You're going to be like, share about your experience. And they're going to post a fucking picture of a collagen can. And you're like, what in the world are you doing? I would never do that. Why are you doing that? Okay? So you have to be the best coach that you want to be, that you can be, if you want your team to do that same thing. So some tangible tips to give you: you have to show up every single day to your business, to your feed, to your stories, to your team, and to your inbox. You have to show up every single day to those things, right? You do not have a business without those things. And I know a lot of people think they can just post and people are going to come to you. People are not going to come to you. In 5 years, I do not wake up to an inbox full of people ready to go. I'm not there. Okay? Maybe these coaches with like 100K followers, maybe that happens for them. That doesn't happen for me. I do wake up of an inbox of 15 to 20 tags of girls on my team with their energized videos, and that makes me feel pretty good, right? But it's not an inbox full of people like, yeah, dying to give me their credit card to sign up for a challenge pack. Okay, that's not a thing. You have to go invite people to do this with you. So posting is not enough. Stories is not enough. You have to have it all. So with that, you have to fill out a tracker every single day. Okay, every single day. If you are unwilling to fill out a tracker, you are unwilling to grow. The only reason you wouldn't be filling one out is because you don't want to see the holes in your own business, because then you can't justify the work that you're doing. If you want to grow in this business, you have to fill out a tracker and you have to figure out where you can get better. Is it taking you 2 hours to send 4 invites? Then that's a problem. Okay. Is your invite section blank every single day? Right? Is your workout box never checked? You have to track in order to see, because our mind is going to tell us that we're working really hard. But working really hard is not scrolling social media. If you're on there, you need to be commenting on everything. Otherwise, get the hell off of there. There's no reason for you to be on there other than engaging with people or posting content yourself, because scrolling is nowhere on our tracker or part of our job, and it does not bring in sales. Doesn't bring in sales. Okay. So whatever you talk about is what people want from you. So if you only talk about workouts and people never want to buy challenge packs from you, don't be confused. You have to show your Energize, your Shakeology, your collagen, your greens, your beach bars. You got to show all of it. Okay. I show Energize and Shakeology every single day. Why? Because I don't want objections on those things. I don't want messages after I send the challenge pack graphic to say, can I just do the workouts? Sure, they happen, but not as often as those who never show their Shakeology or never talk about Energize, right? And you show it in your own special way. And you don't have to explain it every day, and you don't have to make it in front of us every single day. You can. It's your prerogative. It's your channel, your brand. You do whatever you want, right? I like to switch it up. Some days I have Chloe help me make it in a time lapse, right? Some days I talk about it, exactly how I make it, because people always wonder how to make it taste good, right? Every one of those is adding value. So people can see that this is a daily staple in my life. Yes, they need it. I'm not just full of shit trying to sell you a shake. No, you need this. Okay. This is very important. Right. And then I will randomly talk about it in posts. So a lot of product stuff I will do in stories. And then I'll do more coaching stuff in posts. That's kind of how I run my business. You can choose however you want to do it. Right. But sometimes I think it is really important to do a big and bold product invite. I did one last month with a 3-day refresh, and I ended up selling 6 of them, 4 of them being challenge packs, right? I do think that's appropriate every once in a while, but I don't want that to be my whole feed. I don't want someone new coming to my feed and all they're seeing is product, right? I don't want people to get to know our products. I want them to get to know me, because when they like me, when they trust me, they'll buy whatever I'm selling. Okay. So I am the brand, not Beachbody. You are the brand, not Beachbody. Okay. So, but whatever you talk about is what people want from you. So if you're really good at talking about boot camps and Shakeology, you'll probably sell a lot of challenge packs, and that's great, but you probably won't sign up a lot of coaches. And our compensation plan rewards for building a team. Retail commissions are great. Yes. Okay. They are fast money. But if 5 years from now, when you're at the luau with your family, you can either be on your phone trying to slang a challenge pack so you get paid on Thursday, or you can put your phone down and enjoy the fire dancer guy with your family, because you know you're going to get a check regardless. That's the difference between retail and a team. Okay. So I teach my team to invite to the team. Every person who says yes gets invited to the team. I don't worry about whether they want to work or whether a discount. I don't really worry about that. They want to be part of the team, part of the community, then I'm going to let them. But I give everyone that opportunity, because it's not my decision on what type of client they get to be. I give everyone the info, let them make an educated decision, and then we go from there. And I've never had anybody, after they've said yes to the challenge pack, and then I offer the coaching, get scared and run away because I offer them the coaching. They'll either say, no, I'll just do customer for now, right? If somebody is yes and they're actually going to sign up, then you offering them to sign up as a coach after they've already said yes is not going to scare them away, okay? If that scares them away, they were never going to fill out that share cart anyways. So, oh well, right? But give everybody the opportunity to say yes. Don't hold their destiny trapped in your mouth, okay? So if you want people to sign up as a coach, you have to talk about coaching, okay? That's all I talk about. I will throw in a boot camp pretty much, a few times a month, but I want people to join the team. Why? Because the team is what changed my life. Yeah, it's cool if you can lose 20 pounds from our workout, but it's even more cool if you can lose 20 pounds and pay your bills. That to me is a lot cooler than losing weight, okay? And trust me, I've seen the transformations. My stepson has lost 110 pounds in the last year from doing our programs and drinking Shakeology. Like, I've seen the physical transformation. But what I've also seen, like my friend Katie that I told you about, who said she'd be 6 feet under had she not joined the team, I've seen it change lives. I've seen it change my own life, and I've seen multiple women on the team change their lives drastically from being coaches, not from being customers, okay? So coaching is your best offer. So I give it to everybody. But, so talk about what you want, right? Do you want coaches or do you want fitness clients? There's a time and a place for both, but you have to decide what it is and how you want to build this business. And then you just go hard in the paint with that. Me, it's coaching. I want to build a team. Do not worry that if you only talk about coaching, you will not sign up customers, because it's simply not true. If you're doing your tracker, which it says to put your workout in your story every single day, people will get fitness from you, okay? I still sign up way more customers than I do coaches, Even though if you go to my Instagram feed, every single post is about coaching. And I invite to the team every single day. Okay? Because I'm not naive to think that people see every post I make, watch every story I make, listen to every story with sound on, right? Read everything I write. I'm not naive to think that. So I don't want to miss out on a chance in case somebody didn't see my stuff, or if the algorithm changed and now they're only seeing my stuff once a week, right? So I can't say something once and then expect these incredible, awesome results. That's just not a thing. That's not a thing with your fitness either. You can't do one workout of morning meltdown and then say, why don't I have the same results as the girls who did 100 days? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? Why don't you have the same results as others? They are just more relentless in the pursuit of their goal than you are. So if you feel like you are not achieving the things that you want in your business, it's because you're not talking about them enough. You're not relentless enough. And when I say relentless, I don't mean salesy. I don't mean spammy. I mean, when you get married and your wedding photographer sends you 400 photos, you uploaded all of them to Facebook and you didn't give two shits what anyone thought about that, because you're like, I look fly, best day of my life. Here you go, Facebook, enjoy. You probably even said sorry, not sorry, right? Because you weren't sorry, because you didn't care, because you were excited. When you had a baby and you posted 17 photos, even though not one of them looked different from the other, but you couldn't decide which one was the cutest, you did not care. You posted all 17 and you said, sorry, not sorry. It is the same about your business because it lights you up. You are excited about it, the changes that it's making, the positive that it's having in your life. You have to be relentless about that. And you don't care what other people think because you didn't care about the wedding photos or dog photos or baby photos or family vacation photos. You didn't care what anyone thought about that. So you can't care what anyone thinks about this. And trust me, if people hear something enough, they will be interested in getting more info about it. Okay. I know we're a little over time, so I wanted to open it up for questions. I see there's some stuff in the chat, so I'll go and I'll look at those. Yes. Yes. Okay. How do you go about inviting to the team? Okay. So after they give me a yes to their challenge pack, I have their email, I have their flavors, I have their package. I say, okay, last question. There are two options to sign up today. Both cost the same. One is as a customer, all future orders will be at retail price. One is as a coach, all future orders will be at 25% off. There is a $15.95 fee to be a coach, which I pay as well, but you have the opportunity to get paid for your referrals, which sounds best to you. And people will say, oh, customer's fine, or can I start as a customer and upgrade later? Or, oh, 25% off, that sounds great. Or wait, do I have to sell anything? I mean, you'll get a range of answers from people, right? But I've never had that affect the outcome of that share cart going through. So if people don't want to be coaches, they'll say, oh, just customer. Say, great, send the share cart. Okay. So you just have to be willing to do it. Does it feel awkward at first? Yeah. But I think everything in life feels awkward at first, right? So you just have to be willing to send that to everybody who gives you a yes. Never before. That is a huge mistake that new coaches make. They're so excited and they're like, yeah, tell me about this thing you're doing with Beachbody. And then they're like, oh, well, we have these workouts and there's like 1,200 and we got meal plans and we got this group and it's like-minded women. And then I'm a coach and we get a discount and and people are like, see ya, you're crazy. And they're out of here, right? Like they don't want any part of that. So my best advice for conversations is short and sweet. Don't answer questions that nobody asked. Okay. So they said, tell me about this thing you're doing with Beachbody. You don't need to tell them all 70 superfoods in Shakeology because guess what? Nobody gives a shit about that. Okay. So you just tell them, say, are you familiar with Beachbody programs and Shakeology? And then you wait for their answer. That is my number one question to everyone. Why? Because you know how many coaches ask me for info on my group? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm a discount coach. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Okay. Right. So you don't want to waste your time and give someone all this info when they're a coach or they've been a customer for 10 years or they used to be a coach 1 year ago and then they had to quit because they got laid off or da 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 da. There's a million stories that people are going to tell you. So always first question, are you familiar with Beachbody programs and Shakeology? Some people will be like, no, LOL, right? And you're like, okay, great. I got to give you all the info. And I have it all in short, sweet, concise little blurbs that I send, never all at once, right? Just a couple at a time so that they can get the info so that they can move forward with this conversation if they like what they hear. But I don't want to tell them everything and then tell them about signing up as a coach and getting paid for referrals when they literally asked one question. Like, that's super overwhelming. And most people's attention span, they're not going to read a huge long message anyways. So short and sweet works. Okay. Would you mind sharing your tracker? Yeah, it's so cute. I just made it. I'm literally obsessed with it. It's like, look at these emojis. They just make me so excited about everything that I'm doing. I didn't read, I listened to Eat That Frog, and he said to do the worst first. So I put that, so the invites are the very first thing. Do the worst first. And then I have my story prompts in here. So there's like 9 things you should be posting on your story every single day. So I have those in there so my team can't forget. All this stuff's really good. Yeah, I can share it with you. Yes. How do you promote retention of products, especially Shakeology? So I found in the very beginning when I required people to stay on product, to stay in the group, people canceled like ASAP. Never even that second month of stuff going through, right? And then it was like, then you had to like start promoting that because a lot of people would require that, right? And then I felt like there was this time in my business where I had to be like, one-time fee, just one time, like, you know, like just trying to get that challenge packet, like just felt really desperate. So now I don't require anything. Like once you sign up, you're in my group for at least a year because you have, you know, the VOD, and I don't require them to stay on supplements or whatever. But I do find a lot of people do, especially Energize, because I'm so vocal about talking about it. Or sharing that I use collagen, or sharing beach bars, or sharing greens, or all of the things that we use. And, you know, I've been talking about Bevy a lot too lately. So I just find the more I share and my experience with it, people are more likely to stay on. So like when people message me and they're like, is it really Shakeology why you have such great results? I'm like, well, it's part of it. So that's also something I talk about. My first 4 months before I signed up as a coach, I didn't use Shakeology and I had no results. And then my first 4 months of using Shakeology, I had great results, and Autumn actually shared my before and afters. So I do contribute a lot of my success to Shakeology. Do you run your groups through Facebook or the app? I literally don't. I just do Facebook. I can't with bad app groups, whatever. I didn't use my challenge tracker either. I don't remember to go into another app on my phone. Like I'm already in Facebook. So, and I just find that the engagement is so much better because I feel like most people are the same way. They're already in Facebook. So they're getting that notification. Whereas like bad groups, like, I don't know what's going on over there. I just have one ongoing group. I've done it every single way on every single platform. And I just found that having one large group with literally a simple check-in here with your workout, and then I post meal plans on Sundays, that is what works the best for me. I used to do everyday content. I would do book clubs. I would do nutrition. Blah, blah, blah. It was just like, it's not more engaging, and people aren't getting better results because I posted a fucking did you know about water. Like that's not why people are getting great results, right? Like I don't even think most people even read those. So literally just every single day, like today, whatever day is it, says Monday workout, check in here with your workout, and people post their sweaty selfies and how they felt, or if something good or bad happened or whatever. And I've just found that the more simple I make things, the more people do, which is kind of silly, right? Like the less I required people to stay on product, the more people stayed on product because it was their decision. Like when I think it's just a human thing, when we're forced to do something, we want to rebel against that. And when it's our decision, like people are just more likely to do that. Okay. How do you convert Instagram peeps to Facebook? I mean, I just when people sign up, I just say, hey, can you go add me on Facebook? If they're like, oh, I don't have Facebook, I just say, okay, I'll just check in with you here. I said, or you can create a Facebook. Like, I'm not going to create something separate for the one person because, I mean, honestly, what's the difference between Facebook and Instagram? They're the same thing. So it's weird when people only have Instagram and not Facebook. I mean, I don't know. So it's like, if you want to join the party, we're all over here on Facebook. I mean, there's almost 1,000 members in my wellness studio. So it's a great place to be. So they should be there.
Yay! Thank you so much. Holy crap. I need to bring the fire, but I was like, write notes like crazy. I love your analogy about the car because I think so often people hit like even emerald or diamond. They're like, perfect. I'm just going to sit back. And then they're like surprised when coaches cancel. It's like, well, you've got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. So I love that. And then I love what you said about the tracker. If you're not willing to track, you're not willing to grow. Because that's so true. I used to be like, oh, I work in this business so much and I don't know why I'm not seeing any growth. And I'm like, oh, I didn't send any invites. I just watch stories all day. So yeah. I love that about being intentional. Thank you so much. When she sends the tracker, guys, I'll share it on the team page. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day and bringing the fire. I know everybody loved it, and I can't wait to see how people implement it.
Yay. Thank you guys for having me. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.